In the vast and wonderful world of plants, nature has its own special rules. These rules often surprise us. We use many words to describe the foods we eat, but scientists, called botanists, use these words very carefully. One of these words is berry. To a botanist, a berry is a very specific type of fruit. It must grow from a flower that has only one ovary. This ovary is the part of the flower that holds the future seeds. A true berry is a simple, fleshy fruit. It has a soft outer skin, a pulpy middle, and contains its seeds on the inside. This definition is the key to understanding a great botanical mystery. Think of a grape or a blueberry. These are perfect examples of a true berry. They start as a single flower. As the flower is pollinated, its single ovary begins to swell and ripen. It develops into the juicy fruit we know and enjoy. The entire wall of the ovary becomes the soft, edible flesh of the fruit. All the seeds are found scattered inside this flesh, protected by the pulp. The skin is thin, the inside is soft, and the seeds are held within. This simple structure, born from one flower with one ovary, is what makes a fruit a true berry in the eyes of science. It is a wonderfully efficient design for spreading seeds. This scientific definition can be quite different from our everyday understanding. We often call any small squishy fruit a berry, but nature's classification system is much more precise. It looks at how the fruit is formed, not just how it looks or tastes. The origin of the fruit, from a single ovary in a single flower, is the most important clue. This strict rule helps scientists understand the relationships between different plants. It reveals the hidden family connections that are not always obvious to us when we are simply enjoying a sweet treat. The journey from flower to fruit holds all the secrets. So when we explore the world of fruits, we must remember this special definition. A berry is not just any small round fruit. It is a fruit with a specific beginning and a specific structure. It has a soft skin, a fleshy middle, and seeds held safely inside. It all comes from one flower with one ovary. This simple yet strict rule of botany is what allows us to uncover the true identity of many of the fruits we eat every day. It is a definition that leads to some rather astonishing discoveries, turning our common knowledge completely upside down. Now, let us turn our attention to a very familiar fruit, the banana. With its long shape and yellow peel, it does not look like what we typically think of as a berry. However, if we look closer at how a banana grows, we find a remarkable surprise. The banana plant produces large hanging flowers. Each individual banana develops from a single flower that contains a single ovary. This is the first and most important clue. The banana flower's ovary ripens and swells, developing into the fruit we peel and eat. It follows the primary rule of being a berry perfectly. If you slice a banana in half, you can see the evidence for yourself. Look closely at the center. You will see tiny black specks arranged in a subtle pattern. These are the remnants of the seeds. In wild bananas, these seeds are much larger and harder. But over centuries of cultivation, we have bred bananas to have very small, soft, and infertile seeds. The important thing is that these seeds are located on the inside of the fruit. The banana's flesh, the part we eat, is the ripened ovary wall. It is soft and pulpy, just as the definition of a berry requires. The yellow peel is the skin or exocarp of this remarkable fruit. The entire structure of the banana fits the botanical classification of a berry. It has a soft outer layer, a fleshy middle part, and an inner part that holds the seeds. Even though the seeds in the bananas we buy from the shop are too small to grow, they are still there, held within the flesh. This is a crucial detail. The banana is, botanically speaking, a type of berry sometimes referred to as a leathery berry because of its distinctive peel. It is a perfect example of how scientific definitions can challenge our everyday assumptions about the natural world. So the next time you peel a banana for a snack, take a moment to appreciate its hidden identity. This common everyday fruit is a true botanical marvel. It is a giant berry that grows on a plant often mistaken for a tree. From its single flower origin to the internal placement of its seeds, the banana proudly wears its berry crown, even if it does so in disguise. It reminds us that in nature, things are not always as they seem. There is always something new and fascinating to discover, even in the most familiar of places, like our own fruit bowl. In stark contrast to the banana, we have the beloved strawberry. Its name even has the word berry in it, and its bright red color and small size make it seem like the perfect example of one. Yet, in the world of botany, the strawberry is not a berry at all. It is what we call an imposter. The reason for this lies once again in how the fruit develops from its flower. A strawberry flower is very different from a banana flower. It does not have one single ovary. Instead, it has many separate tiny ovaries sitting on a fleshy, dome-shaped part of the flower. As the strawberry flower is pollinated, something very curious happens. The many small ovaries do not swell up to become the main part of the fruit. Instead, the fleshy part of the flower that holds all these ovaries, called the receptacle, begins to grow and turn red. This is the sweet, juicy part of the strawberry that we love to eat. The true fruits of the strawberry are actually the tiny, seed-like specks on the outside. Each one of those little specks is a separate, dry fruit called an achene, and inside each achene is a single, tiny seed. This makes the strawberry a completely different kind of fruit, known as an aggregate accessory fruit. It is aggregate because it develops from a flower with many ovaries, not just one. And it is an accessory fruit because the fleshy part we eat is not the ovary wall but another part of the flower, the receptacle. The seeds are not on the inside, protected by pulp. They are on the outside, each contained within its own tiny fruit. This structure is the complete opposite of a true berry, which must have its seeds on the inside and develop from a single ovary. Therefore, despite its name and appearance, the strawberry fails the botanical berry test on every count. It does not come from a single ovary, and its flesh is not the developed ovary wall. Its seeds are carried on the exterior of the fruit, not the interior. It is a fascinating and delicious construction, a clever strategy for a plant to spread its seeds, but it is not a berry. This revelation often comes as a great surprise, showing us just how different the language of science is from the language of the kitchen. The strawberry is a wonderful fruit, but it is a pretender to the berry throne. The confusion between fruits like bananas and strawberries arises from a simple clash of two different worlds, the world of botany and the world of everyday life. In our kitchens and supermarkets, we group fruits based on how we use them. We think of berries as small, soft, juicy fruits that can be eaten whole. Strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries fit this description perfectly, so we call them berries. This is a culinary definition based on taste, texture, and use. It is a practical and useful way to talk about food, but it is not a scientific one. This is where the misunderstanding begins. Botanists, on the other hand, classify fruits based on their structure and how they develop from a flower. They are interested in the plant's biology and evolutionary history. For them, a berry has a very strict definition, a fleshy fruit from one flower with one ovary with seeds inside. This scientific definition includes some surprising members like bananas, grapes, tomatoes, and even avocados. But it excludes many of the fruits we commonly call berries, such as strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries, which have more complex structures involving multiple ovaries or other flower parts. This difference in language leads to a fascinating paradox. A scientist looking at a fruit salad would see things very differently from a chef. The botanist would point to the banana slices and say, "There is a berry." They would then point to the strawberries and say, "And there is an aggregate accessory fruit." This can seem strange and overly complicated to most of us. We have learned the names of these fruits since we were children, and our common understanding is deeply ingrained. It is not wrong. It is just a different way of seeing the world based on a different set of rules. In the end, the story of the banana and the strawberry is a perfect lesson in perspective. The key difference is simple. Bananas are true berries because they grow from one ovary and hold their seeds inside their flesh. Strawberries are not true berries because they grow from many ovaries, and the part we eat is swollen flower tissue with the true fruits and their seeds on the outside. Whether you choose to call a strawberry a berry in your kitchen is up to you. But knowing its secret botanical identity adds a wonderful layer of appreciation for the incredible diversity and ingenuity of the natural world.